more that you can lean into your own personal discomfort, say what needs to be said in a non-offensive way, the more you make the world a better place. Okay.
And they do projects too. They tore down all the ones in the back end to they're gonna build houses.
Okay.
And the ones up here they didn't tear down. They just recently just started selling them.
Now, is this an area where your program?
Oh yeah, we out here.
You're out here.
Oh, of course.
Okay. And we're hot, by the way, just to make sure
right.
you know. Yeah. So we're live streaming, folks, from the Bay Area.
Oh, live stream. Okay.
Yeah. I'm with the great Sam Vaughn of the Office of Neighborhood Safety. And behind us, I'm in his vehicle. Behind us is the Rock vehicle with Grace and Nate and the great Mike Romero. And they're showing us the areas where Rock is going to address needs of community members. We just left the Civic Center, City Hall, where there was an extraordinary number of community members coming together to express their thoughts and feelings regarding some recent activity that was shared on social media. And there's just a lot happening here with advocacy and activism and people sharing their thoughts and feelings in a desperate desire to be heard with what's important to them. And Sam and I are coming to you live right now from the city of Richmond, and he's showing us areas where Rock is going to be deployed and serving people. So, Sam, where are we right now, and where are we headed?
Well, we're in North. We're going to be headed into Central.
And just to give folks a view of what we're doing, there's Sam, and there's me. And I'll be moving. I have a whole arrangement here. I got my laptop, the camera. We're wired up for sound, and Sam's got a lot of interest in and knowledge in the intimate parts of the community that he's talking about. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, like I say, we're just riding through North right now. The projects that they tore down is about 2 blocks that way.
Okay.
We hold classes weekly in the community center to this building to the left.
Okay. And what kind of classes?
That's the life skills classes for the young people from this community.
Okay.
So we hold ONS, we would stick to Rock, but ONS holds about 10, maybe 11 life skills classes a week.
No kidding.
Yeah, because you got to get groups of young people that can't be together.
Oh, so man.
It'd be great to just hold one huge life skill and
right.
breakout groups and all
right.
that, but you can't have these young folk together because they're in conflict with one another.
Right. And like you were educating me earlier, this is not gang conflict. This is community conflict, neighborhood conflict.
Yep.
This neighborhood, you described it as the Hatfields and the McCoys earlier. You're born into it.
Yeah.
You inherit beliefs and you harbor them.
Yeah.
Astonishing. And what would you say the level of involvement or enrollment people in this community have with the city or the systems and the resources are right now?
What we learned is that the folks we were engaging, the only other public service that were paying them any attention was law enforcement.
Right. And, right. In a reactive kind of critical manner rather than preventative. I'm going to turn the camera around so folks see where we are here.
Just be careful about how you point it out there. We're going through communities.
Yep. Yep.
So we're leaving North.
Leaving North now, and where are we headed?
We are literally, this is still North.
Okay.
And then as soon as we get across these train tracks, oops, sorry about that. And the train tracks go above us.
Okay.
But boom, now we're in Central.
Central.
So that community is literally in conflict with this community.
So that whole neighborhood.
Close. Yep, that close. Right across the street. And so there's a community over here. It's called Triangle Court. And let's see. Let me make sure ain't nobody in here. We definitely don't want to be disrespectful.
Yep.
And so the first 2 homicides of 2025
were in this neighborhood.
Yeah. And so the first one of 2025 was on that corner right there.
Okay.
And then the second one of 2025 was on this corner right here.
Okay.
So imagine this small community impacted like that back to back.
And this housing, who lives here and who constructed it?
This is low income housing. I don't know who constructed it. It's been around here for a while.
Okay.
And but the majority of the low income housing that we'll be going through, not most of it, about half of it was constructed for the Great Migration from the South.
Right.
A lot of African Americans moved to this community to work at the Ford Foundation. I'm not the Ford Foundation, but the Ford company.
Okay.
And then, we actually have a low income housing that was built for the folks who were working on the ships during World War II. There was a shipping yard that was building the ships during the war.
Oh, fascinating.
Because them folks was going down, them ships was going down as quick as you could build them. This was one of the places that was just running out ships, and it's famous because all the men were pulled to go to the war, and so they had women building ships.
Huh.
And they called them Rosie the Riveters.
Okay.
And they still, to this day, are infamous for Richmond.
Okay.
They have Rosie the Riveter Day, where all the folks get dressed up because they got this one specific face that they associate with Rosie the Riveter.
Okay.
And so it's got the scarf, and so women from all over the communities will gather together dressed up like Rosie the Riveter.
Huh.
She has her own museum here.
My wife reminds me of a woman out of that period. She would have loved to have served her country in that way, building airplanes, and showing up. If you're watching, dear, I'm thinking of you. We're at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and Harbor Way now. Is this still Central, Sam?
Yeah, this is still Central. There was communities down this way. P7 is a Pennsylvania 7th. They've always called it P7.
Okay.
That's been since the 80s, very high active with all the ills that we've been discussing.
Right. What are the values of this community, and what, if I might ask, what are their grievances with where we just were on the north side?
So back in the 80s, the early 90s, mid 90s, it was the drug trade. So most of the time, any grievance that occurred would occur due to control of resources.
Okay.
And so this is the Barretts, another low-income housing.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of murders that was going on back then, but it wasn't because of where you're from. It's because of who you were or what you did.
Right.
And so with that being said, there was a lot of homicides, but it was over monetary shit.
Yep.
Early 2000s, because North and Central, they do business.
Okay.
It wasn't about where you're from. It was about what you got access to.
So people are born into the stories. They're born into the history. They're born into the tales.
Yeah, in 2003, it was a situation to where there was a minor car accident during a car race, sideshow. Depends on what you hear will dictate what you believe. And everybody had money. That was the bad thing. It wasn't like folks didn't have money.
Right.
But it was about who was at fault and who was going to pay. And it was like, I'll pay for that. That ain't nothing. And then somebody getting in somebody's ear, like, you better not pay. I mean, he punking you. And, oh, well, then I ain't going to pay. Well, man, he ain't going to pay you. He punking you. And then it became about ego and pride. It didn't have anything to do with the resources. And then there was a shooting, the injury. and another shooting with the homicide, and then it just went on, and then it was like they was just keeping score. Just from that, and I'm sure there were other things
Right.
underlying that were brewing that they didn't feel like was important enough, but I guess that was just the reason, straw on the camel's back.
Yeah.
And and just from that conflict alone, hundreds of homicides, 1,000 shootings with injury, thousands. And this is the only hospital that we have in Richmond.
This is it.
That's it.
The Richmond Medical Center.
Yep, that's Kaiser. And so
Okay.
the only problem with that is there's been a number of times when somebody has been shot and folks have instantly responded and to the community that they believe allegedly it came from. And now you got both of those communities at the hospital checking on their loved ones, and it's complete chaos.
At the hospital.
At the hospital. Complete chaos.
So Rock is here along with ONS. You're in these communities. ONS is tasked with...
All right, put that down so we ain't recording these fellas.
Oh, got it. Yeah. You're preventing retaliatory violence on one hand, and on the other hand, you're reaching out to people in need so that their lives can improve.
That's right.
And this is all falling under your, let's say, supervision.
Correct.
And what I'm experiencing in you, Sam, is a command of the history that's derived from lived experience. I don't think anyone could hire someone into this level of responsibility without the depth of knowledge that you have of the community. Is that a fair summary?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. I think you're being modest.
Unicorn.
What's that?
This is the townhouses.
Okay.
I say I don't think I'm a unicorn. I think there's many folks that, given the opportunity that I was given, would have been able to accomplish this.
I hear you. Tony Blauer, did you hear that? He said he's not a unicorn. I think Sam is a unicorn. It's humbling to be around his humility and command of the knowledge and the history of this community. So where are we headed to now?
So now we're going to bust this left, and then we're going to be in the south side.
Okay. Now, what are the distinctions between central and south? And is there conflict between south and north?
It all depends, right, at any given time. So historically, it was north and central.
Okay.
And then as it morphed, familial relationships, sometimes intimate relationships, it brought certain communities into alliance.
Okay.
That had conflict with the same community.
Okay, so the friend, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay.
And so that's a new, that's like the last, maybe 15 years. It's a new shift. And so you've had folks that have been enemies and then became in alliance, right. And then
alliances dissolve,
and then
right?
Enemies again.
Yes.
And so at any given day, it can shift, and our role is to make sure we're keeping our finger on that pulse, so we can shift accordingly as well.
Do you find your people negotiating, engaging in mediation between groups or alliances that have fallen apart?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. See, that's why I feel like we're here and presenting a way that those skills can be improved. The feedback that we got from your people today is they now understand, as you said, why we have to set the stage with certain ideas and academic principles, and now they're putting them into practice. And what they're figuring out is that they've been doing these things all along, and now they know far more deeply what those things are, what they're called, how to organize them in certain sequences to maximize influence. And this is like some of the most noble work in the world that I see occurring with your team right now. You're going out there into these places where other people that have supervision or oversight at the city level are just not showing up, and you're keeping the peace in a very grassroots way.
Or definitely giving folks the suggestions,
right,
and the proposal on how to keep the peace.
Right.
But they're the ones that's actually doing it.
Yep. What kind of appreciation do you think the community has for the Office of Neighborhood Safety? And
it depends on what community you ask.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about that for a minute. Are there times where ONS is working very effectively with a community and then that changes?
Yeah.
Maybe because you're trying to broker peace with everybody and then someone has difficulty with you engaging the other side.
By now, everybody used to us, but it can change just based on a personality that comes home, that has a respect level, and a level of command that folks aren't willing to challenge.
Okay.
And so they kind of back down and back away. They'll still call you. They'll still ask for advice. They'll still ask for some help when they need it, but they won't be as active because they're afraid of what others may think of them.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is that when we started at first, we were able to get the ones and build relationship with the ones that had that command. And I think that's why it was so effective, because they didn't have to answer to nobody.
Right. And you're dealing with the leadership, so to speak.
And so who gonna tell me what I can do?
Right.
And then the folks who they did have command over, some, some folks won't control.
Yep.
But the majority of folks was like, man, if he can do it, we can too. And so it just the snowball effect, which we were very appreciative of. And we passed the South Side that last light. Okay. On the South Side now. But
is there a community that you would say is in power or in authority over other communities based on size, resources, or are they always to some?
I think everybody as far as power and resources,
it's equitable. Yeah. Everybody's got their share.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And every community, like you can have, 2,000 youngsters in the community, and then you can have another community that got 100. But the community with that 100 got 10 Green Berets, and the community with 2,000 got 4.
Yeah, I'm tracking with you. Well, this is fascinating. And where are those hills, Sam?
This is industrial, so that's on the other side of the freeway. And so there's 3 different Richmonds.
Okay.
All right. So you got the Richmond
that
you're kind of staying in, which is kind of in the middle of it, but isn't really affected.
Okay.
They got the peripheral, but they can move accordingly, and it's not affecting them at all.
Okay.
You got the Richmond that ONS serves, and then you got the Richmond that it's not even a peripheral. They can just drive right over the bridge and go up to their hills, and they're none the wiser.
And you've experienced that. You've experienced people up in the hills, maybe even working for the city in some capacity that have little or no knowledge of what's really happening down here.
Indeed. And so when they find out that a coworker's son has been shot, they're just losing their mind. Like, what's going on?
Right.
Like, oh my God, what's happening to this city?
Right.
And, it's like, take the blinders off.
Yeah. Well, what an education this is on, like, true.
He gonna run it. He run red lights anyway.
Yeah. True neighborhood community intervention. Sam Vaughn, Office of Neighborhood Safety, Bay Area, City of Richmond. This is a city program that's making a difference. The ROC program about to be deployed. Reach out with compassion and kindness. They are going to be responding to calls that can burden a public safety agency in such a way that critical calls that they need to go to are delayed or even worse, overlooked. And ROC is going to, in the alternative response framework, have to work with law enforcement in a collaborative way to manage those calls. And to be frank, those calls very often don't always offer any less danger. It's a different kind of danger. It's a danger to self of the person served. It could be danger to some degree to the workforce, because things that are originally let's say, non-acute or non-critical can become critical depending upon all of these other issues, relationships, substances, etc. Yeah, what's that?
This is, since I mentioned it earlier,
Yeah.
might as well show you. This is what we call an Eastern Village down here. Okay. Yeah, we got a couple.
I'm gonna be, lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so,
got to be careful here.
These things.
Okay.
These little houses right here.
Yeah, these are super popular in Washington.
Well, this is where they house the workers at the shipyards.
Okay.
During World War II.
So this was originally workforce housing.
Yep.
And today they
became low income.
Low income housing. Okay.
You see a lot of them are boarded up because for a temporary term they're just kind of rehabbing, just fixing the bare minimum to make it habitable. But they're about to tear all of these down.
And then what?
They're building more. They're building more housing for low income.
Okay.
So
okay.
That's the good thing.
All right. Good. All right. Well, to those of you who have been watching this, I want to thank you so much for the program change. I know we were originally going to talk about some crisis de-escalation stuff, but I thought this would be as impromptu as it is, far more useful right now to kind of share where we are. We are in the city of Richmond delivering training to the Office of Neighborhood Safety and the Reach Out with Compassion and Kindness program. I'm with a pioneer, someone who's incredibly humble. His influence is vast. His command of the history and the culture of the larger community is just humbling to be around. And it's such a privilege that all I feel excited to do is share with others what's happening here. There's good work happening here where violence is being reduced. Homicides are being reduced. Injuries are being reduced. And now this next level of intervention with alt response through ROC is going to follow up under the auspices of the Office of Neighborhood Safety. I hope you enjoyed these few minutes we could spend together. Sorry about, some of the vibration and those kinds of things, but I hope you were able to derive a few things from this. Take good care, and we'll see you on Thursday on the Jumpstart Mastery Network. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. More that you can lean into your own personal discomfort, say what needs to be said in a non-offensive way, the more you make the world a better place.